around the world. You're doing great things around the world. Yeah, you're doing great things around the world. You're doing great things around the world. Great things, yeah.
What's happening, my good people? Welcome to another episode of Diaspora Link here exclusively on GhanaWeb TV. My name is Diallo Sumbry and I'm your host. We appreciate you joining us this week for another episode. We have a wonderful conversation with our guest, Viola Labi, who's from Ghana and Toronto, and now she lives in Ghana. I'm really excited about this interview. I'm really excited for you to learn more about where she's from and what she does here in Ghana. So let's dive in. Thank you for joining us on Diaspora Link. We are live on Diaspora Link with our guest this week, Viola Labi, and as we do every episode, we're going to get to know Viola a little bit before we dive into the interview. Viola?
Yes.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, this is what we call choices.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a few choices. You can just have to choose one, and after you choose one, tell us why.
Okay.
Very shortly.
Okay.
All right, let's start here. Bolokotanga or Accra, and why?
Bolokotanga. It's serene, it's tranquil. There's not chaos in the same way that Accra presents chaos, and you can just think more clear. And the artisans are there too.
And the artisans are there. Okay, all right. Mm-hmm. Toronto or Ghana? Just one and why?
Toronto.
Toronto, why?
Mm-hmm. It kind of made me who I am.
Okay.
It structured me in a way. Yeah.
Okay, great. No, that's it. All right. This is one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. Jollof or Wache?
Jollof.
Oh!
I'm a jollof. Yeah, jollof.
That wasn't even the question.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I don't
a lot of
like
people choose Wache. You don't do Wache at all.
I don't even like rice and peas, like West Indian style.
You don't eat rice
I
and
eat
peas
it, but
is not your thing.
yeah, jollof.
Jollof all the
with goat
way.
meat.
Okay, you got
With
jollof
pepper,
specifically.
yes.
Jollof with what I like to say. Make sure the pepper is proper. Proper pepper.
Proper.
All right. Okay. How about this? You're a fashionista. So let's do Versace versus Fendi.
Fendi. Fendi is a bit more sophisticated. Versace can be like the true Versace, you know. It can be almost like a sophisticated mistress in a way, like the style. Fendi is a bit more, sophisticated, like more the woman I am in terms of like the apparel. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Last one. Dress or pants?
Dress.
You prefer dress?
It's just easier. Ghana's hot.
Yeah. That's simple.
And in Toronto, obviously pants because it's colder in the evening.
Gotcha.
In the wintertime.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So we want to thank Viola for playing choices with us. This actually was simple. She's a pro. This is actually really simple for her. But we play choices because we believe that our choices shouldn't necessarily push us further apart. They shouldn't divide us. They should bring us closer together. So even though we all make different choices every day in very basic things in our everyday life, we should learn to respect each other's choices. And as long as we respect each other's choices, we'll all get along. Right? Thank you so much. All right. Now, one more before we get into our interview. We are going to move to what we call top five. Top five. So, well, I'm going to give you, I know I'm silly. People are like this. What's wrong with this guy? I'm going to give you 5 categories.
Okay.
You need to choose one and then tell us why.
Okay.
All right. Number 1, your favorite book. Now, I'm saying favorite, but just a book that you would recommend.
Ooh. There's a book like when I was a teenager, by Nikki Giovanni. Something Storm. Was it The Quiet Storm or something?
I'm not sure.
There's a book. Oh Lord. Maybe that's cut because I don't know the title.
That's fine, but it's a book by Nikki
I think it's Nikki
Giovanni.
Giovanni, and it's about a young girl. I think she was in the Bronx, and at the time of reading the book, I was also coming into who I was. And in the
Okay.
book, the young lady, she went through a whole bunch of things, and I think it's called The Quiet Storm.
The Quiet Storm, possibly by Nikki Giovanni.
Possibly.
Okay, but that's the one book that you would recommend. And you would recommend that for young girls and young boys?
Girls,
For young girls.
Yeah.
Okay.
young
All right.
women, yeah.
Young women. Okay. What was that? We did your book. Okay. Favorite artist of any musical genre. So we're talking about musical artists. If you had to pick one artist, who would it be?
I love Jennifer
Of all
Hudson.
time.
All time, okay.
Just one artist.
I think Jennifer Hudson can take me there. Like,
Wow.
especially in Ghana,
Yo,
where
Jennifer
it's
Hudson can
needed to just, yeah.
She can sing.
There was a song she did like on YouTube, she was singing for Oprah, and
Okay.
it was during COVID. I think the song is called "Heal" or something. Like she can just take you there when you're not expecting to be taken there, or
Got
when you don't know you need it. It's like a cold water in the Sahara. Like she just does that for
she
you.
puts you there, whether you thought you needed it or not. You're there, and then you realize you need it.
For sure,
Okay.
Jennifer Hudson, for sure.
Got you. Okay. Favorite food. It could be a specific meal
banquet,
or
a
a
banquet.
type of food.
A banquet.
A banquet.
Yeah, I'm a latte girl, so palm nut soup
Palm nut soup is a banquet.
with goat.
With so we are. I think we got that. We know if you got a soup or jollof,
Yes.
it should be goat.
Yes, but I also like palm nut soup with yam.
Okay.
I like it with. I don't really like it with rice or face the wall.
Okay.
Yeah,
A banquet.
a
with
banquet.
goats.
Yes,
Now, so it's palm nut soup. What do you eat it with? Yam.
I like it with yam.
With yam.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
But at the house, usually it's like face the wall or fufu
Okay.
or something like that.
Favorite place to vacation?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be a place that you've been. It could be a place that you want to go.
Seychelles.
Seychelles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why Seychelles?
I just think it's just beautiful. From what I've seen, it's just beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Last one is your favorite sport.
I did flag football in school.
Really?
Yeah, love it. Loved it.
Yo, I would have never guessed
yeah.
you say flag
Yeah,
football.
I'm feminine now, but
We're talking about American football. We're not talking
Canadian, yeah.
Canadian
Yeah.
American football. You run in,
with
somebody got to pull the flag.
Yeah, I was running back. So yeah, all through high school, and
Yo.
yeah.
I need to see some tape, okay?
you can call my mom. Call my mom. She'll
Let me
tell
talk
you.
to Mom.
I was number 26. My jersey was 26, and my
You
shirt was
played
25.
all throughout high
Yes,
school.
except for like OAC.
And you were running back. You got records?
I got beat up a bit. I don't know if I got records.
But that prepared you for your life now.
Yes,
So
I was running.
These people here don't know that you used to be a running back. So
oh
they
yeah,
gotta come,
I'll take you down.
they got to come tougher than they become.
yes.
All right, we want to thank Viola for playing our top 5. We suggest that as you get to know people in the diaspora from different cultures, from different places, one easy way to kind of get to know who people are, what they like, what they don't like, ask them what their top 5 is. What's your top 5? Let's get into the interview and dive into more about Viola Labi, where she's from in Ghana, where she's been, what she's doing now, and anything else she wants to share.
You're doing great things around.
And we are back with another episode of Diaspora Link, and I am here with our guest for today, Miss Viola Labi. Viola,
Hi.
welcome.
Thank you.
I
for
think
having
this
me.
is going to be a fun interview because we know each other in real life,
Yes.
right?
Yes, we
and
do.
we do some work together, but I promise you I'm going to find out something new about you in this interview. Okay, so let's start here.
Mm-hmm.
What part of Ghana are you from?
Latte.
You're from Latte.
Both parents. Yeah.
Both parents from Latte. Ooh,
I know.
wow.
And did you know we're the Aborigines of Ghana? So let it be known.
Okay, so okay,
We were
talk
the
to me a
first
little bit
settlers.
about that.
The first settlers in Ghana.
Who is we?
Latte people.
Latte people were the
Mm-hmm.
first settlers in Ghana from.
I believe it's from Nigeria or like that direction.
Really, I know a little bit of something about Latte. I spent some time in Latte.
I know you have. I know you have.
I'm not going to get into that right now.
Yes.
But mother and father from Latte. So that means Akan. Does that mean Akan?
Well, it does. Yes, it does. Yes.
It means that so Akan is a language.
Latte is a language. Latte is also the town.
Right. So I know Latte is a town. Latte is a language. I didn't know Latte is actually a language. And Akan is an ethnic group or a tribe, right?
Ethnic group.
It's an ethnic group. Okay, cool. And so tell us how you got from Larteh to Canada and back to Ghana. Let's just take us through the whole story.
So I was actually born in Toronto.
Okay, you're born in Toronto.
Yeah, we were coming back.
No, a friend of mine has corrected me for all my people in Toronto. Because I was saying Toronto. And he was like, bro, you cannot say Toronto. The second T is silent. So
Toronto.
Toronto. All right.
Yeah, so born and raised in Toronto. And I've been coming to Ghana. My family my sisters and I have been coming to Ghana. I think we started when Ghana turned 50.
Okay.
So my parents had an early retirement. So one of us would go back and forth, kind of check on my parents, check on the house, and go back. I think my most recent trip was 5 years ago.
Okay.
And I realized, okay, there's a magnet. I think all of us feel it. There's a magnet when you come. No matter what sector you're from, no matter what you do, there's just something spiritual. There's something that pulls you back to, whether it's the continent, but myself and my experience is just Ghana.
Okay.
And so, primarily we would just check on my parents and go back. But 3.5 years ago, during Easter, we got a call from my mom saying, your dad had a stroke. And my dad and
Sorry to hear that.
Thank you. My dad and I were like this. And so I didn't even really think about it. I just booked a flight. I was staying with my aunt over Easter weekend, booked a flight and went to Ghana the next day. And all of us, like my siblings and I, we all came to support my mom and my dad just at the hospital. And he ended up later passing away. So before he passed away, thank you, he was on palliative care. And, just the motions of not really a culture shock, but just how things are done in Ghana, how healthcare can be a different experience here as opposed to Canada.
In Toronto.
Yeah, in Toronto. So through that, because of the Odra Festival and a few other things happening in the community, we were forced. My mom was forced to stay in Ghana because my dad, they weren't allowing burials.
Okay, at that time.
At that time, yeah. So there's a festival and there was other things happening with my uncles that we weren't allowed to leave. And so my sisters were able to leave. They, both have, I'm an entrepreneur. My sisters both work formally. Universities or whatever. And so I came back. Actually, no, I stayed. Sorry. I stayed and just, did the best I could and just.
You still helping mom out?
Yeah. And just not working at the time, but just, being frozen because my dad was like he still is one of the most important people to me.
Right.
But also trying to maneuver because Ghana can be a culture shock once you come to Ghana for that type of reason and experience the funeral process here. It's just different.
Very different. Very different. Steeped in tradition, steeped in culture, steeped in very different from the U.S. where if somebody passes, you contact the funeral home. They give you an available date.
Yes.
Once you get the available date, you send out the messages and everybody comes to the funeral home. You go to and it's done.
Yes.
But Ghana is very, as you said, very different with it. And coming from Larteh, I'm sure you guys there was a lot of protocols that you had to follow, especially during a time like Ojur. So what year was that when you first came back?
Gosh.
Well, let's say, because you were born in Toronto.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you first came to Ghana, like your first trip?
I think it was like 8.
8. And then was it annually, biannually, pretty much?
No, from when I was 8 until Ghana at 50. So I think I was like maybe 19 or 20 or something like that. And then I was like, and connected with cousins that were also my age. I have a cousin, Valerie, that was here. And so we formed a bond and, she encouraged me to come back. And also my uncles, a lot of my uncles were on this, come back to Diaspora, we need you, we want you to come back, take over what your parents are doing. And I actually suggest that to people now because of my own experience. Don't come back when you're forced to come back because a parent has died. If you do have that desire, come back now, even if you do stay for 3 weeks or 4 weeks. But yeah. And
so is there a big Ghanaian community in Toronto?
Yeah.
It's a humongous.
Yeah.
So you never really felt, being born in Toronto, traveling back and forth since I guess you were 8 years old, you never really felt like Ghana was far away or you missed it. It was never a foreign thing like, I know I'm from there, but it's all the way over there because you were connected at home in Toronto in the Ghanaian community and you were traveling from there?
Yeah, somewhat. Like my parents were part of this group called the Latte Awebi group. So there's a clinic in Latte right now. So my parents worked with an association and also with churches and they sent mattresses up to the clinic and renovated the clinic. And so there was always a connection. I was very young to kind of be cognizant of it. I would say I really kind of fell in love with Ghana in my late 20s.
Partying?
No, just connecting with family.
I got you.
Yeah,
I shouldn't have assumed that.
No, it's fine. Yeah, just connecting with family and trying to get into business because my parents worked. My dad was a draftsman for Sears. My mom was a nurse, and so on the side, my parents imported shea butter, imported textiles. Like, so it was like Ghana was also always present in the house at some moment. Whether it was Saturdays, my dad would be playing like Amachi Dede. Like, it was something. There was always some element of Ghana in the home.
And so there was that entrepreneurial spirit there.
Yes, it was that hustle, like, you know, working. And so I think that's what kind of drew me into Ghana as well. And also fashion. Just seeing the beginning of the supply chain in certain areas where I've worked in the end of the supply chain with Nordstrom and Burberry.
So that's what you did in Toronto?
Yeah, I worked in Toronto. I worked at Burberry. I was working CVM, so customer volume management.
Okay.
You kind of measure the algorithms of shopping propensities.
Okay.
It's data. It's in the store, but you're also working with data.
Okay.
And then Nordstrom was designer handbags.
Okay.
Which was quite an experience, but you know, it taught me so much.
And you did that in Toronto before, so you were doing that while you were traveling back and forth. You were still doing that?
Nordstrom, I was.
Okay.
Because 2-week vacation, come back, go back.
Gotcha.
That kind of thing. Like, you know, if you get time off, you just figure out something to do in your time off.
Do you miss Toronto?
Now I'm beginning to. My nieces are getting older, and you know, communicating with them via WhatsApp video is limiting. Like, you know, you want to touch, you want to feel. I have a few friends that, you know, they've either gotten married or have children, and you want to, you know.
But is it Toronto, or is it the people in the community in Toronto, or is it a little bit of both?
It's a little bit of both. Sometimes I miss a different type of structure. Sometimes I miss when things are...
What is that? Do you drink coffee?
No.
You don't drink coffee?
No.
Oh, because I was going to say, you know, I don't know anything about Canada, right? I'm learning. And this is, I always get clowned because I say all I know is Moose, what's that, Tim Hortons coffee, and Drake.
Oh, God.
I know, it's the worst, right? The Raptors are, you know, like,
yes.
but no, one of my good friends is from Toronto. He's teaching me, and I told him I'm going to spend some time with him in Canada. And I'm trying not to continue to be the ignorant American about Canada and Canadian culture. So in your travels, working with Nordstrom, working with fashion, traveling back and forth to Ghana, has that taken you to other countries on the continent of Africa?
No.
So have you ever been outside of Ghana?
No.
Really?
No, never.
So,
I want to.
But
we have a mutual friend that was trying to get me to go, but I think because when I was working in Ghana, when I first started, I was on contract. And the 3 major roles I've had have been contracts. So you weren't permitted to actually leave the country.
Got you. Okay.
Just to travel within it. Like when I was at Versace, on the weekends, I would go to the north, either pick up orders or to manage an order, come back with my suitcase straight into work.
But while you were, so we didn't even get to
sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Because anybody who's listening heard you say Versace, so we're going to talk about that. But what I wanted to do right now is something that you're not expecting, so just do your best, okay?
Okay.
All right. So here we go. Now is what we call Africa in 60. Africa in 60 is where we asked our guests to name as many African countries as they can in 60 seconds.
Okay. Starting now?
Look. She got all 54. I promise y'all I did not prep her for this, but she's just very confident. Okay, start now. How you want to do it? Sir? All right. Do we got our timer? Okay.
Do I get a prize, or like, is there cash?
It's like you get social clout. The viewers who watch are gonna be like, "Good job." They're gonna leave comments. Great job.
That's good.
Is that okay?
That's fine.
But maybe I'll figure out something later. Maybe we can figure something out. You're the first person that asked that. All right. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
South Africa, Zambia, Namibia, Morocco, Mauritius, Seychelles, Nigeria, Ghana, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire. Did I say Senegal?
Nope.
Okay, Senegal. Let me go to the side. Rwanda, Uganda, Djibouti, Eritrea, Somalia.
You can go north.
I already said Morocco, Egypt, although they don't think they're African. Oh, geez.
There's a country next to Egypt.
Who do I even know?
To the east and the west.
Okay, I think I'm done. Zimbabwe.
Okay.
Okay, I'm done.
We still got more time.
Okay.
We still got more time.
Where's my phone?
You can't use the phone.
Okay, no,
4,
this is shameful. I should know
3,
this. Wait.
2.
I'm trying to think of the Africa free
1.
trade.
Okay, stop. Good job. I think I counted about 17. I counted about 17. That's not horrible. You didn't expect it, and everybody's
You should
not
have told me
looking at
before
the
we
map.
did this.
That's why I don't. That's exactly why I don't. Okay, so Africa in 60. We love to play this game. We want all of our viewers to remember that Africa is a continent, 54 countries, different languages, different cultures, different protocols. So as we begin to look around the world and look through the diaspora, let's remember that there are different African people all over the continent. All right, cool. Okay, so
Botswana. I just remembered Botswana.
the time is up. You can't add Botswana.
Shoot.
All right, so you mentioned Versace. Now, I think when I met you, you were working at the Galleria, managing the Versace shop. So talk a little bit, and you brought Versace here, correct? Okay, tell me a little bit. Tell me the story about the guy. This was in 2019 during the year of return when you guys opened, right?
1 year before that.
What, 2018. So talk to us about working with the Kempinski, Galleria, Versace. Like, you had to be in high demand. You managed the Versace shop in Ghana. All of these ballers out here? Maybe not. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so I heard about the role. I was at a restaurant, and Nadia from Sai Wine, great lady.
Yes.
She started engaging and said, what do you do? What did you do? I hear you have an accent type of thing. I let her know. At that time, I was working for Nordstrom, and I let her know. Actually, I worked for Nordstrom at that time because I'd already moved to Ghana full time. And she said, hey, I know the recruiter for the role. Let me connect you. She connected me, spoke to her, and then I was introduced to the owner of the shop. So the shop is not owned by the Kempinski itself. It's owned by a member of the management team.
Okay. Is
And
it Ghanaian owned?
No.
Okay.
Had my interview, and he's like, okay, when are you going to start? I was like, wow, okay. So I came into the store.
That's a nice job interview when you finish and they say,
It wasn't
when you
much of
gonna
it.
start?
Yeah, it was just, what do you want? And
You're the one.
yeah, and I had questions, but it was like, just start. And a lot of diasporans have that experience too.
Okay.
Like, it's just when they see that you understand what the role entails, okay, let's go, kind of thing. And so yeah, I started, and it was just fixtures in the store, no product, no employees, nothing. The product was on site, but it was at the hotel. So
Okay.
before I was able to really hire a team, I had to just structure myself, just same way we were doing Burberry or same way we were doing Nordstrom.
Right.
Build out a plan, had a network of who can do what, in terms of building a small little ecosystem, whether it's rolling racks down to Sensormatic machines. I also worked with an assistant consultant as well, that the owner worked with prior to me coming on.
Okay.
I started with the inventory and got the team. Actually had I think we had 70 applicants. I worked with some people from the fashion industry in Ghana to say, hey, I need to hire people quick, and had quite a few. We had quite a few.
Were most qualified?
I would say 70 of them were eager.
Okay.
Yeah, they were
But
eager.
not qualified. It's okay if they weren't, because if you had 70.
We had 7.
Right.
We had sets of 12, 12, 12, 12. Yeah.
Right. If you had 70 and all were qualified, it had to be a hard choice. As opposed to, okay, half of these people are eager but not really qualified, but I have a pool of 25 that I really need to choose from.
Yeah, I think when you say the word qualified, I think there are people that definitely were great in the interview.
Okay.
Because I have an HR experience, I can tell a candidate before I even train them. I can tell who I can work with, and or who would resonate with the company values. I'll say it like that.
Got you.
And I met 5 that week we had interviews. I met 5. It came down to 3, and then it came down to 2. And we just moved forward with that.
Right.
Started with inventory, getting rolling racks from Spintex, ordering Sensormatic machines from South Africa, getting a rep to come up from South Africa to install it. Some of the flooring in the store wasn't to standard, so it was an epoxy flooring, just had to redo the flooring.
Got you.
Worked with the Kempinski in terms of clienteling lists, just essentially picking up what I did in at Burberry and plunking it down in Ghana.
What was that experience like? Because I mentioned about you missing Toronto, and you was like, you missed some of the structure. So I'm assuming that opening a luxury brand like Versace in Ghana wasn't as simple, and I could be wrong, as it would be in Canada.
No, because the ecosystem is not, the industry is not, okay, it's here, but
Okay.
it's fertile, it's forming.
Okay.
Right. At the time, I felt like, in Toronto, if I want to pick up rolling racks, or if I want to say, there are agencies that will fit out your store for you.
Got you. You
Right?
can just hire. So is that an opportunity in Ghana?
It's definitely an opportunity in Ghana, and
Okay.
something that I've done after Versace, because, people have seen it on Google or whatever, that, hey, this girl did this. This small girl did this. So she could do my store. So I think, yeah, like in terms of fixturing, yes. So if you have a franchise,
Right.
the head office will send you the product, once you've purchased it. But if you are, let's say you have a shop in Trasacco or something like that, I don't know of an agency in Ghana that will say, okay, you want to bring in this retailer, we have this product, authentic, product from Italy
Right.
or wherever it is. There are no agencies like that, to my knowledge.
Okay.
So, it's a matter of like going to Spintex to get this and to get this, and it came together.
So I don't own any Versace pieces, right? And I'm not a label name brand kind of guy. Like, I like my tailor to measure me and make clothes.
You like
whatever it
quality,
is.
handmade,
I
yeah,
like
bespoke.
quality, yeah. Yep. And I think probably, but I know Versace is it's a big name, right? It's a big name in luxury brands. Talk a little bit about Versace in Ghana specifically as a brand and the kind of customers. Was it mainly people who stayed at the Kempinski who shopped? Was it native Ghanaians?
Yeah.
And then just give us a little summary of, as a matter of fact, let me do this.
Okay.
We're going to take a break.
Okay.
And then when we come back, we'll pick up, okay?
Okay.
We'll be right back with Viola Labi on Diaspora Link.
You're doing great things around.
Peace, global African family. My name is Diallo Sumbry. I'm a co-architect of Ghana's Year of Return 2019, and I'm the president and CEO of the Adinkra Group. For the past 5 years, we've been bringing loads and loads of people to Ghana. Many of them, their first time on the African continent, their first time putting their toes in the African sand, in the African soil. And so many people have had their life changed. Our Birthright journeys are curated cultural immersion journeys centered around reclaiming cultural identity, exploring your ancestral heritage, and celebrating African resilience. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our Birthright Journey Partner Program. It's really simple, and you really don't have to do much other than email us at info@theadinkragroup.com. Now, what makes a great Birthright Journey partner for our program? Are you a leader? Are you an influencer? Are you that person that your family calls on to organize, or do you automatically know that that's your job? Are you somebody of status in your community? Are you a community leader? Are you that person in your church or in the school? If you are the ideal Birthright Journey partner. Do you believe that every person of African descent should have an opportunity to touch ground on the continent of Africa? If you are, then you are the ideal Birthright Journey partner. It's simple. We're going to show you how you can travel to Ghana for free. Not only can you travel to Ghana for free, but you can actually get paid to travel to Ghana. Really simple. Just contact us at info@theadinkragroup.com and set up a discovery call. You'll get to travel with your family and friends, you'll get to travel with your community, and the best part of it is that it'll be free for you. Or you'll even earn money doing it. So again, info@theadinkragroup.com. We look forward to seeing you in Ghana. We look forward to dancing with you in Ghana. We look forward to eating fufu, eating jollof, eating wache. Make sure you contact us now, and we would love for you to become a Birthright Journey partner. Madasi. We are back here on Diaspora Link with our guest for this episode, Viola Labi. We're going to continue our conversation about her work with luxury and Versace in Ghana, and then move on to what I really want to talk about is what she's currently doing in the North. Viola, okay, so Versace. So Versace Galleria Luxury in Ghana. Your take.
Okay, so I think there are many forms of luxury, and I think whether it was COVID, but there is a democratization of luxury.
Okay.
Right. And so the luxury that went to school and learned and was raised with is very much a capitalistic form of luxury, where it's like customer service and where it's about making money, right? Like at Nordstrom, we had a Celine department, and there was a handbag for a Python handbag for $30,000, right? And so I think sometimes a lot of
excuse me, a Python
handbag.
Was it like an albino virgin python from the
I remember the colors.
Australian mountains? Like, was it something? This is one of a kind? Did they kill the only one?
There were 3 in Canada.
Okay.
Right, and so we were one of the stores. The location I was at, Yorkdale Mall, was one of the stores that got it, and Vancouver got 2, because Vancouver has a
$30,000 US. That's a lot of money.
Canadian dollars.
Okay, 30,000 Canadian. That's still a lot of money.
It's still a lot of money, yeah. And so, like when you were raised with that type of luxury, you think, or you equate luxury with something being expensive. In Ghana, it's the purity of, or it's the connectivity to the artisanship of making something by hand, right?
Which is luxury.
It is luxury. It is luxury because, let's say Jean Baptiste or Dries Van Noort, these are designers in Europe. They also have tailors and ateliers that work with their hand, but because there's a capitalistic structure around them, and because I think there's a proximity to whiteness, people think, oh my God, this is luxury, right?
I was going to ask that.
But there's luxury in Ghana, and I don't necessarily mean eco-luxury. I mean there's luxury that is equitable and equal to the luxury that you find in Europe. It's just that it's their system that we're operating in terms of this formal structure of supply chain management, right? In Ghana, we don't have supply chain management. If I'm struggling to find rolling racks and Spintex, and I have to fly in somebody, well, the store has to fly in somebody from South Africa for a Sensormatic machine, that is not an ecosystem, right? But in Europe, in Canada, US, yes, you have those systems.
It's all there.
And I think it's also that whether it's Black people or African people, we haven't given language to what we do, right? In terms of this word luxury. So I have a friend who owns New Afropolitan, Jewel Arthur, mutual friend. And
shouts out to Jewel.
Yes. And what she does, she works with artisans as well in terms of hand-carved tables. And all of these things are luxury.
Right.
And I think because of where it is geographically, people undermine it. And sometimes we undermine our own art because, again, we don't work with price points.
But you said something that was so key. And that is that luxury, most oftentimes, even with us, is defined by its proximity to whiteness. I'm going to steal that concept because we sometimes also have to, I guess, decolonize our own minds, right? Because most of us were so if you grew up and you didn't grow up in a rich household or a wealthy household, when you saw luxury, you saw white people. You didn't see luxury with Black people.
Yeah.
Right?
Whether it's someone walking on the street and she had
And you weren't, and we didn't define luxury by things just being made by hand, because if that was the case, we all grew up luxury because our parents.
Yeah, and it's biblical.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So that's so what do you think needs to happen?
I think for sure, even before I moved to Ghana, sometimes when I would just come to Ghana for fashion events and kind of dip out, I would meet people and people say, I would love for my product to be in, I think at that time I was working, I can't remember who I was working for at that time, but they were like, I would love for you to help me get my product over into Canada, right? Help me pitch to a buyer type of thing. And I would say, why do you think that coming to Canada means success, right? And then I would rewind that and say, okay, so do you have distribution in line? Like, how would you get the product there? Oh, I don't know, right? Okay, so how long does it take for you? What is your lead time for maybe 60,000 units? Oh, I don't know, right? The system, that structure is not ours, right? So I think if we're gonna, because we are in this global fashion ecosystem, we have to learn it.
We have to learn that system, whether it's ours or not.
Yeah,
right.
We need continual education. Even myself, I worked in industry. I went to school for fashion almost 15 years ago. Like, I think I'm aging myself, but almost 15 years ago I went to school, and I'm even relearning because the system, the industry has changed since I went to school. The industry has changed since I worked for all these companies back in Toronto. I think we need to. I know I hate to say it like this, but I think we need to. It's not learning the white man's way. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
But we need to learn how the system works.
But it's a global system, right? It's a global market. And if you're interested in selling to a market that can afford your product, that you want to price at a certain level, and you want to have it in Nordstrom, and you have to be able to supply 60,000 units or whatever because Nordstrom likes it and they want to put it there, then you have to learn that system.
And even if you don't want to onboard in a department store, even if you want to have a distribution center in New York or something, so you have a drop box, not a drop box,
A drop site.
a cross dock, right?
Okay.
Where your product hits on that country and then it's shipped. You need to understand the way the system works, right? You need to understand supply chain management. So whether it's YouTube or whether it's a Parsons course or whether it's asking a funder or whatever it is, you've got to find a way.
We need to figure that out here.
Yeah. We need to figure it out here and make our own, but make it African, right? So whether it's in Ghana, or whether it's in Nigeria, whether it's in not South Africa, but whether it's in maybe a Black African country, we need to figure out our own.
You know, I smiled when you said that because I started thinking about the African Free Trade Agreement, and I'm like, with this agreement, we should be making millionaires and billionaires in Africa by selling and creating products and services to other Africans.
We should. Operative word.
We should.
Should.
We should.
Yeah.
Last question about this. As somebody who works in this field, I consider you an expert, right? Why? Because you get it. You talk about it. You know it. When, like, I just learned something. Was it cross-docking you said? I didn't know that till now. But I heard it, and now I'm going to use it with somebody else, and I'm going to sound real smart, right? I'm like, well, if you don't understand cross-docking, then you don't really need to be in this business. But what do we need to do for us as people to begin to switch our minds around so that we begin to redefine what luxury is?
I don't think we need to redefine it. I think we just need to share what we do already. What we do already is luxury. I think we need to understand. I think what I did with Versace, like I had a great young lady that worked for us and worked with the store, and you know she went to school at Radford. It's a university in East Legon, fashion university, and she gets it, right? And so I think once you're able to download information into a young person, they continue it, right? But I also think the education system in Ghana, in terms of fashion schools, we need to teach the difference between fashion and retail. Retail is the engine that drives product, right? And I think people just we put it all together and then we don't scale because we don't understand retail. Retail is the supply chain management, and it can be done on the continent. And with this Africa Free Trade Agreement, like I hope that one day it'll involve the creative industries, because a lot of the women and men, a lot of the continent is informal trade in the creative industries, right? And I'm not saying we have to, what's the word? I don't want to say professionalize because that's not even a word.
Standardize?
Standardize. We can leverage, and it's with partnership. It's also with Diaspora partnership as well. We can leverage what is existing. Whether it's somebody, making this flag
we don't have to redefine it. We don't have to change
it.
We
there
just
already.
Leverage it.
We just have to give it language and document it, create data, obviously, because that's when investment comes in. If I'm an investor in Toronto or Silicon, wherever the heck I am, and I don't see that this is actually viable because there's no data to back it up. I'm not going to invest in it.
It has to be data.
It has to be investment for sure.
Period.
In consortiums and all that.
So this actually, I believe, is a perfect segue, because as you started to say that, I was like, this is what she's doing in the North. She's creating this. She is the change that she wants to be. So let's talk a little bit about your work now with Woven. Tell everybody what Woven is and exactly what do you do with Woven.
Okay. So Woven is a socially conscious home goods brand. I work with artisans in Bolgatanga, and we create baskets. We create woven items for interior spaces. So primarily, I think my favorite part of Woven is our custom design service. So it could be anything from a museum to yourself to a retail store saying, hey, I need these units. And we work with artisans in terms of product development and specs, and again, showing them what the world, how their customer is outside, and that's something as literal as, let's say a basket is 10 by 15 in terms of 10 base, 10 high, and let's say an artisan says, oh, scrap it, I'm just going to do 20 inches by 20 inches. First of all, I won't pay for the basket. In the beginning, I wouldn't pay for the basket because I need them to understand that you're disrupting a client's order because her shelf space is maybe 20 by 20. So you have gone and done your own measurement.
And
so I
decided
can't
to
sell
do
it
what
to
you
the
want to
person.
do.
So that means
Right.
I have to absorb the cost a woman has to absorb the cost.
Right.
And so yeah, we work with artisans. I don't think Ghana understands the potential of what we could do with in Bolgatanga alone, even the north alone, from like Shea to textiles to Wa and all the beautiful things that are happening there. We can commercialize what is normal for us and give it
Right.
value.
You know
right?
what?
So when these
Go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
go ahead.
No,
You
no,
go,
no,
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 you
no, because
I was gonna say sometimes
I'm
when
with
a
you.
white sometimes in my space in the handcraft space, because we don't value our own, maybe I don't want to say white person, but a person who is not black can maybe have this business and they'll get crazy investment because it's like a savior complex. We are saving Africans, right? To me, it's just business. Like,
Right.
it's a mindset shift that needs to happen. And, we worked with...
Somebody else could come and go to Bolakatanga, meet some weavers or meet some people, and let's say that person is non-black or non-African.
It's much more attractive.
Right. Do a one-pager and say, I need $1 million investment to help these poor women in this village use their art craft and take it worldwide. And somebody will throw money at them simply because it's a humanitarian effort.
It looks like, yes.
It looks like a humanitarian effort, as opposed to somebody coming in and working with people to help them create a viable business.
It's kind of like how sometimes celebrities come to Africa, or anyone comes to Africa. Hear me out.
No, I'm with you. I probably agree with you.
Yeah, and maybe they built a school. The school is not the impact. It's the curriculum that should be the impact. Right? Because the school is infrastructure. Just like we have Kotoka, it's a beautiful airport. But, day 2 of the airport, it was filthy, right? Because there's no garbage.
You can say that out loud. It was filthy.
It was.
Clean up.
We didn't think about the garbage cans. Like, it's just pretty infrastructure, but it's the core, it's the SOPs, it's the structure of the internal company that matters.
Right.
And so Woven also works with other companies who are not necessarily in the basket space. So we build CSR programs for for-profit companies. And they,
Really?
Yeah. And they have nothing to
I didn't know. See, I told you I was going to learn something
They have
new.
nothing to do with basketry, but it's in the north, and obviously I have data on what works in terms of training, and we build capacity in different areas, either for nonprofits, but usually for-profit organizations.
I have to talk to you.
Okay.
This is fine for the interview. Listen, we're friends in real life, so I'm learning from her right now. We have to talk about something I just learned about in this interview. So, okay, no, that's okay. So, one of the things I love about Woven, outside of the quality of the products,
Thank you,
and your creativity, as I mentioned to you, I love the way you present the products, and I love the way you present the artisans. Like, for me, it really shows in your photos and in the way that you present the work, that you respect them as human beings. And you don't get that a lot. Like when you mention about the stars who come here, or the Hollywood people, whatever, it's always like you come and I'm just waiting for the picture with the lady in the market with your outfit, and it's just like, look at these fresh mangoes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I love the way you present it. Can you talk to us about some of the other work you do? Because I know you do training, and how many women are you working with? Give us some data on kind of some of the impact that Woven is having.
Yeah, so we work with, predominantly it was 200 in the very beginning, so this is 2 years ago in the very beginning. During COVID, we worked with Scale Up Africa.
Okay.
Their consortium here in Ghana. Do you know?
That's a homie.
Okay. And she worked with Woven to facilitate a capacity building training for 70 artisans, 70 women in the north during burial season. So I wasn't too sure about the timing, because the women sometimes can't stay throughout the day because it's burial season and women are behind the funeral process.
Burial season.
Yeah,
okay,
kind of like what happened with me and my dad.
Okay.
And so we worked with them to train them with capacity building in terms of quality control, quality assurance, microfinancing, because it's not like Susu is familiar,
right?
But we want to help these women. I don't want to necessarily scale. I wouldn't say scale, because scale is much later, but just help them to improve their profits, right? And
Okay.
so the women reinvest their profits from basket sales into the home, into their children, and maybe the men are in the South, maybe the men are in Accra. We have we work with artisans who we work with the husband in Accra and the wife in Bogatanga.
Okay,
Because
nice.
he's in the city, maybe weaving during the day, but maybe have a maintenance job overnight, right? And he's sending that money back home.
For them to continue. Okay.
Yeah,
Got
and
it.
so
Got it.
we work with other companies, not necessarily in basketry, but to provide that training. And we also worked with Google Will. Google has a foundation called Women's Will.
Okay.
And so we work with the weavers that are 25 and under because they speak English and the training was in English.
Okay.
Just in terms of like positive self-affirmation statements, in terms of, I'm the best weaver, or just even being able to speak up. When you're sitting, don't sit like this, like speak up and to be present. And so it was great because some of the artisans have never heard of Google, or they've never even engaged or had that type
Right.
of experience. And so I was like, yeah, madam, you have to come back. And so I work with them in terms of microfinancing, but I don't give money, I give straw. And it's
Okay.
for our orders.
Ah.
Yeah, it's easier to track because I know that you haven't used the money for something else. Because that's what happens in the
But you give straw for your orders, but they get paid for producing the orders.
Yes.
Nice.
So because
that's a great model.
because traditionally microfinancing is cash, right?
Right.
And so I find sometimes if you give cash, they may use it for something else, and I don't get my order.
Right.
And then the customer on the other end is like, Viola, you're unprofessional, right?
Right.
But it's not me. It's the supply chain. It's culture. It's anyway. And so yeah, it's been wild. And with this
So now you're at like 270, 300. How many?
270.
You're at 270 now. And that's a lot of people. How do you?
Yeah, so each group, like some women are really, really great with single weave. Like there are two types of weave. Some women are really great with double weave. Double weave is usually the more expensive product. That's usually the high-end product. You're going to see it in like Loewe. You'll see it in, I believe Vivian Westwood also did.
Okay.
Anything that's high-end, it's a skinnier weave, and so it's lighter, and so like the shapes can be wavy and really, really cool. Single weave is usually laundry basket, something that needs, something that requires much structure if it's going to be carrying something. And then there are also things like hats. Like if it's a custom order, someone says, hey, Viola, or hey, woman, we need.
The one thing I saw that I was like, this girl is smart. This woman is smart. It was like the glass holders.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
The custom glass holders.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm about to put in another order for something. I'm going to put in another order for something.
Yeah.
Viola, we are running out of time, but before we leave, as a native Ghanaian who grew up in the Ghanaian and African diaspora and who has decided to come home and decided to stay, regardless of how and what circumstance, leave us with some advice for Ghanaians abroad in terms of how they can make an impact here, and for non-Ghanaians, non-African born Africans abroad since the year of return, people coming. What advice specifically would you give for people coming for business?
Oh, for business. Okay.
Give us like one gem, one Viola nugget that you can leave us with.
For business, I think it matters on the sector, but I do think training is important because I think when I came in, or when anyone comes in to start a business, you're going to expect that the staff, or that the team will know what the team where you're coming from would know. And these are like everyday things about punctuality, or these are like small little things that do make a difference. I think you need to invest in training for sure. And hiring a recruitment firm I've worked with someone, Maureen from Bawoni Consults.
Okay.
She's amazing. So I do think you need to work with someone who understands the people you want to work with.
Okay.
Whether you're a Ghanaian or not.
Or not.
It doesn't
But
matter.
somebody on the ground who knows
Someone on
what
the
that
ground who knows
recruiting
what-
pool
yeah.
looks like and knows how it works.
Yeah, because otherwise there's going to be disconnect. You're going to waste resources. You're going to waste payroll because you're not going to get the result you wanted.
Right.
Because you haven't taken the time to understand the way your staff thinks or moves or
Understood.
behaves.
That's a good piece of advice. So training and invest in HR.
Culturally relevant training.
Culturally relevant training.
Yes, for
and
sure.
Invest in HR.
Yeah, because what works in Manhattan is not going to work here. It just doesn't. And it
Definitely.
shouldn't, because Ghana is not Manhattan.
Right. It's a
Accra
different
is not
place.
Manhattan.
It's a different place.
Yeah.
Viola, I am a big fan of yours. I'm a supporter from far and near, as you know sometimes. And I just really look forward to seeing Woven grow. Like
you.
I'm one of those people that
Thank you.
when I open a magazine to see Woven, I'm gonna be really, really happy for
Thank
you,
you.
just because I feel like you deserve it. Again, I love the way you treat all of your people like human beings, and you present them in their full humanity. And I just believe
Thank
you're
you.
fair and you're a dope artist. So
Thank you.
thank you for joining us on this episode.
Thank you for having me.
We want to thank our guest for this episode, Miss Viola Labi. Make sure you check out Woven, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Diaspora Link, here exclusively on GhanaWeb TV. I'm your host, as always, Diallo Sumbry. We really hope you appreciated and enjoyed this interview and conversation with Miss Viola Labi as much as I did. And as always, we'll leave you with some proverbial wisdom from our ancestors in the form of a proverb. Today's proverb is, "It is no disgrace at all to work for money." Thank you. We'll see you next episode.